Hey everybody, Vicky Fitch here, your direct sales expert, and I am coming to you live from sunny Southern California. I appreciate you guys being here. Today we have a really good topic, and I know many of you guys have been, feeling like I can't talk. I'm not allowed to have a conversation about this. I can't participate because every time I do, somebody attacks. But we're going to have an open conversation. I'm going to give you my opinion, but we're going to talk. And that's the difference between what's been happening out there and the cancel culture. That the minute you say something other people don't like, you're out. People start, it's a barrage of hate and meanness and it's just wrong. Like we just have to really grow up. And like, do you guys put a one in the chat box if you think people need to grow up? Whether you think they need to grow up on one side or the other, do you think we could all raise the bar a little and just be a little bit more mature and treat people with dignity and respect so we can figure things out instead of always isolating and identifying? Hi, Kenda. Welcome, Ernie. Welcome to the broadcast. And we need to treat people in a way that they can feel like they can participate and that they're valuable and that what they feel matters, right? And that's what I want to talk about today. So we're picking if you guys haven't been here, just wear it. Donald, see, Donald has an opinion, right? He's like, just wear it. That's one opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion in a few minutes, but we need to be respectful of other people because there is data on both sides. Now, if we look at the data, like I said, we got lots of data. Hey, Mustache Party, welcome to the broadcast. We got lots of data on this side. We got lots of data on this side. But I want to teach you guys to ask really good questions and figure out what's happening. Is there some other agenda going on? Is there an ulterior motive? And are some people taking it just a little too far, right? Put a 2 in the chat box if you've seen somebody take the mask thing a little too far, whether they degrade someone, insult someone, attack someone, what has been going on there? And Bruce has a bunch of question marks. I don't know what that means, Bruce, but I'm super glad that you're here. Welcome to the broadcast. Mustache Party and Kenda both say they've seen people take it a little too far. Adam says people won't take this to heart until we bring back dueling. You know what, Adam? You kind of are right there. Hey, Ed, welcome to the broadcast. And if you guys haven't hit the share button yet, hit the share button because this is a topic people want to talk about, and it could get a little heated, but I'm asking you guys to raise the bar a little. Let's raise the bar and treat people with dignity and respect. Allow people to have their own opinion. And remember what Stephen Covey says is that we should what? We should seek to understand more than to be understood, or first and then to be understood. Because when we understand other people, then we can at least be empathetic to their position and then have a conversation, because you are much more likely. Now, I want you to answer this question with a 3. Or do you believe you are much more likely to get someone to understand your position, assuming, you think it's right? Do you think it's much more likely that they will come to your position if you treat them with dignity and respect? Put a 3 in the chat box if you think that. Because, shaming somebody, insulting someone, and beating them over the head with a topic or your opinion is not the best way to get people to change. It just isn't. I mean, there's a lot of rebellion in most people. I admit I have a little rebellion in me myself. Mustache Party says yes. Candace says yes. There's rebellion. We don't want to be told that we are not enough. We don't want to be told that our opinion is wrong just because you think yours is right. And like I said, there's data on both sides of this issue. So I want to talk about that for a minute. I want to talk about, to mask or not to mask. I want to talk about the fact that there's data on both sides. There are doctors. As a matter of fact, there's a doctor on this, Dr. Adam Nally, that masks, some doctors, and I believe, doctors have more information than I do, but I also add logic to what's happening. And so I want to talk about that. So hold your horses. For those of you who are in keyboard, you're ready to just lambaste me. Just hang tight for a minute. Okay. Kathleen says, I just learned of a woman who was out walking a nearby trail. She requested a young man put on his mask. He beat her. I would say some people are taking it a little too far. Together we rise. You know what, Kathleen? I am so sorry to hear that, because that's ridiculous and insane. Hey, Sarah, welcome. But okay, so let's start there. Since Kathleen brought that up, let's start there. Now, again, I know that some of these are not going to be popular. Like here, Mothbird says masks are for sheep, right? And other person says just put it on. So we've got two opposing viewpoints. Now here, where Kathleen says a woman was walking on a nearby trail. This is my opinion. You don't have to like it. You can like it or not like it, but we've all been given the 6-foot social distancing rule. Whether you agree with that or not, let's just use that as a guideline. Would we all agree that that's what the CDC has been giving us? Put a 4 in the chat box. 6-foot guideline. So if I'm 6 feet apart and I'm outdoors on a trail, I promise you, I am not wearing a mask. Just feel free to get yourself all worked up in a tizzy, but I am not wearing a mask. It's hot out. It makes me feel nauseous. And I feel like I'm going to hyperventilate, right? So if I'm 6 feet apart, I got nobody near me and I'm in the wilderness, there ain't no way I am wearing a mask. I'm just being honest. Okay. That doesn't mean that I will not respect you when I am closer to you. If you want me to put on a mask because we're talking, I will do it for you, not because I think it needs to be done. Okay. I'm not saying the coronavirus isn't there. It is. And I happen to have a compromised immune system. So in the very beginning, I was stressed out. Now, many of you know me. I was stressed out. I wouldn't let my kids leave the house. I was wiping mail, every piece of mail, everything that came into my house because I was evaluating. I was evaluating what was happening and I was looking at our leaders. I was watching the governor. I live in California and I was watching the governor who said, you got to, we need to shut it down. We need to lock down. I locked my family down. Like seriously, I took it seriously. I watched, I listened. And as it continued to go on, and then the riots started. No, and hear me out. Like I said, whether you believe in those or not, it doesn't matter. The riots started and those people were allowed to riot. They are allowed to yell at police officers in their face with no masks on. And they were even sometimes encouraged. I mean, I heard many of the government officials and people saying, that's just a freedom of expression. So if it's so deadly, I would think you'd be a little more concerned with them getting in your police officer's face. Now I understand many people don't like police officers, which I personally don't agree with either. But, we're okay to do it if we're yelling at people and we're pissed off. But we're not okay to do it. We're not, we have to wear them when we're at church with people. We're not allowed to sing. You want us to wear them outside on a trail. So we got to think about this. Now, again, there's a difference between being disrespectful of people, flipping them off, tell them, screw you, I'm not doing what you want. We don't have to be like that. You're allowed to be who you are. You're allowed to recognize your own value, but we should have enough respect to not infringe on other people's, their value system too. Now, let me read some things here really quick and catch up on these comments. Ciro, welcome to the broadcast. Mothbird, glad you're here. Joey, great to see you, sweetheart. Ed says, read an article about mask mouth from a dentist this morning. And people are breaking out with pimples and stuff all over their face because the bacteria is staying there. I mean, that says something too, doesn't it? Let's see. And in our area, it's mandated if you're outside, you wear the mask. Kathleen, I guarantee you, I don't know what, Kathleen, tell me where you are. I would be in jail then, because I tell you right now, I'm not wearing a mask outside. I'm not doing it. It isn't. Even my own children are being persuaded by other people that they need to do it, right? But and then my own kids are calling me a rebel, which is super sad, but that's okay. They're going to watch their mama be who she is, because they're afraid of what other people are thinking of them and what they're saying about them, and or maybe, like, I'm not going to assume what they're doing, but why they're wearing the mask, but they choose to wear the mask. I outdoors am not wearing a mask. When I come to your establishment, if I must go in and it says I have to wear a mask, I will put it on. But I want to tell you what happened to me at Shake Shack yesterday in Las Vegas. And I want to know what your opinion is, because I got to tell you, girlfriend was ready to go off. If my phone hadn't died, I lost my phone, the battery will not charge. There would have been a whole new tweeting episode going on yesterday. Let's see. Let's go back to your comments really quick. It's mandated if you're outside to wear the mask. Yeah, ain't happening for here. Neither am I. Joey says, I have a compromised immune system too, but I'm not in fear. I should have noted trail equals very narrow pathway on a mountainside. Okay. So Kathleen, I get that. And if I'm outdoors still, I'm probably going to try and find a way to let them pass, or maybe I'm going to choose a different path. I don't know. So I would want to be respectful of other people, and I would not ask someone else to put a mask on outside. I really wouldn't. I just absolutely wouldn't, because I don't want to infringe on their value system and how inherently strongly they feel about the wearing. And because if I thought you were going to kill my family by not wearing a mask, I'd be pretty concerned too, and a little bit heated, make sure I kept my family away. I wouldn't attack other people, but the point is a very hot issue because the sides are so diverse. You're going to die if you don't wear it. You're going to kill yourself if you do. It's huge. Let's see. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Like, makes no sense. They're getting us geared and engineered for the Great Reset agenda. Slick Bass, I don't know. but I say there is an agenda. I don't know if it's that agenda, but I know that there is definitely an agenda. Adam says mask enforcement should only occur after Walmart, McDonald's, and DQ require wearing of bras, pants, and shirts. I've seen some of those posts you did, Adam. The one about they should at least require people to wear pants. I don't know what that woman was wearing or what was going on. That really was on the obscene. It was really on the edge of obscene. I wear a mask when shopping only. Okay, Joey. And then Joey says, let's see, hold on. I wear it rarely. Gotcha. Bruce, I don't know what that means, Bruce. Are you wearing a mask or not wearing a mask? I can't tell if you're mad that we're talking about masks. I'm not sure. This is political. Keep doing your own thing. Yeah, Larry, I agree. I agree that I do believe it's political. In the beginning, I was not convinced of that. Like, I didn't know. Like I said, I'm an evaluator. I was watching. I was observing. And as we start to see the inconsistencies in what the requests were, it became apparent to me that this is not about my health and my family's health. This is about, it's an agenda. And just, we have to agree that there's an agenda going on. If you can protest in groups of thousands, and some of our leaders, like I said, will go out without a mask on and we're, participating, then it wasn't about our health. It really wasn't. It was about something else. And did they in the beginning believe it would be? Perhaps. And I'm going to show you a 3-second video clip that Denise Smith sent me about what a mask is doing for us. And I thought it was really cool. Joey says, I don't wear a mask outdoors. I see people now wear, I don't remember who it was, and maybe one of you do, said you were required to wear a mask in your home. Okay, just absorb that for a minute, people. In your home. Does that mean we're going to wear a mask while we're sleeping now too? Are these people out of their mind? Because that's going on to nutty nut land. That is going on to nutty nut land. In your own home, you're supposed to wear a mask all day. This is like, tell me that's not some kind of political agenda. Okay, come on. How and number one, how are you going to enforce that? Number two, how ridiculous is that? If I'm going to get sick in my own home, I'm going to get sick in my own home. The mask is not going to do any good. And what am I supposed to wear it in the shower and then I'm going to waterboard myself at the same time? I don't know, but come on. Like there's a difference between, logic and outrageous behavior. Having us wear a mask at home and people driving around with masks in their car, I swear some of these people are going to pass out. I think I don't get it. I really don't get it. But to choose for a political, Shy Blues says, but to choose it for political reasons, one way or the other is ridiculous, just plain stupid. I agree, Shy Blues. We need people that will step up and stand out. We need leaders that are willing to say, this is bogus. Like this is not happening. And I think we have some, because they don't want to necessarily lose their, they don't want to lose their job because they can still influence people, but they're still influencing by some of the things they do. Kathleen says, Marin, California, I agree with you that it can be all brought down to civility and respect. Right. But if you're near someone and they ask you to put it on for the sake of the greater good, given that the general consensus is masks, then I think one can comply. Yes. You know what? Again, outdoors, probably, I mean, if it was just to walk by them and that was making them comfortable, I don't have a problem holding others in higher esteem than I hold myself. That's what the Bible tells us to do. So to be respectful, demand I put on my mask. I think my flesh might get involved there. But asking, I have a compromised immune system. I'm really scared. Okay, sure, I'll slip it on for a second. Because it's not. I don't need to be defiant, right? Because there's a difference between defiant and respecting people. So we have to be respectful. Otherwise, no one will see what we're doing, and no one will see us as trying to deliver valid information. Okay, so let's go back here. There's a bunch more questions. Let's see. People can protest and not go to church, right? And not do church. Absolutely. And like I said, when Governor Newsom says we can't sing in church, even with a mask on, but yet he was allowing people to protest and scream and yell with no mask on, then that's complete control. And that's, that's bordering on some satanic crap, if you ask me. I know you guys may not even believe in Satan, but that's evil. Let's just go with the word evil, because that doesn't even make sense. Like I said, when logic is absent, then you have to dig a little deeper and say, what the heck is going on? Because there's no logic there. I mean, I'm a really logical thinker. Stupid rules. Wear your mask walking into a restaurant, but it's okay to unmask sitting. Okay, so Larry, I'm going to tell you what happened since he brought that up, and don't leave, you guys. Those are your messages are in the chat. I'm going to get to those. So we're in Las Vegas yesterday, and we went to go to Elijah wanted to go to Shake Shack, and we were going to the Shake Shack, but realized it was the one on the airport, and we couldn't. So we navigated to the next one. It happened to be on the Strip. Now, I'm not a big fan of Las Vegas Strip. I'm actually not a fan at all, but that's where we were. And so we get to the door and it says, you have to wear your mask to sitting down. So, so I put it on to walk to the table, sit down. Then the girl says, you must wear your mask until you're eating your food. Okay. That irritated me, right? Because they really do make me feel icky. I feel like I'm hyperventilating. I don't know why, but it's the heat or whatever, it just doesn't feel good. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And I'm not claustrophobic, but I'm starting to feel like I am when I'm wearing a mask and, inhaling, I'm inhaling hot air and it's already hot out and maybe I'm not legitimizing this yet, but I am in that age where I may start hitting hot flashes and then I might just pass out or lose it on someone. So I don't know. But so I was like, that is ridiculous, right? So I wore my mask until I didn't feel comfortable anymore. My kids got me a glass of water. So I took the mask off and I'm drinking my water with the straw, right? Another girl walks over to the table about 5 minutes later and she goes, excuse me, unless you're eating, you must have your mask on. I said, I'm drinking. And she goes, he's not. And she points to my husband. And my kids are literally behind her about 4 feet with the trays of our food. And I looked at her and I was like, and my husband's like, you have got to be kidding. I mean, this was absolute control. That's not, I'm allowed to have it off when, in 30 seconds when my kids sit down, but not right now. I can, but he can't. It's lunacy, right? There's a difference between you believing that you're protecting people, and so you don't sneeze on someone on the way by or something, and control, like you want me to sip my straw under the mask or something. I don't know, but I can tell you, I won't be going back to Shake Shack. And I will be, sharing about this on social media as soon as I get my new phone because my phone died and the pictures are on there, which brings me to the next part, but I'm going to answer your questions first but put a 5 in the chat box for me if you know that the Statue of Liberty, and in the front of that stuff, I don't know if it's not New York, because it's actually right there next to Shake Shack, has a mask on. Did you guys know that they actually have a mask on her? Put a 5 in the chat box if you knew that. Let's see. Adam says use of placebo is more effective than wearing a mask. I totally agree, Adam. I hang the mask from my ear. I will pull it across. See, I do that too, Ed. I actually put it on my wrist. And then if somebody I go, oh, okay, sorry about that. Hey, Euro, I haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for being here. It's a factual story too. I can tell you this happened to me personally. It was yesterday. And I was like, ready to just lose it. And she was just all in my face. Like some people have not had power before. And then they want to exercise that power. Let's see. Politicians made it political. Corrupt politics is all it is. It really seems to be, Larry. I don't wear a mask in the home. I will never wear a mask in my house. Fantasyland. Actually, it's been shown that masks are effective. You know what, Euro? In some places, lots of doctors, including one that's on this broadcast right now, disagrees with that. And so that's why I said there's two sides. And so we want to be open to hearing both sides, but I'm reading the data every day and I'm reading information. There are a lot of negatives to wearing those masks. And we had a friend and her daughter, a friend of a friend, her daughter ended up having one of her lungs collapse from wearing the mask 8 hours a day. And that's what they told her. So Denise has popped a link in here about face coverings and what it does. Cyril says it's about control. What's the single individual driving in a car wearing a mask? I don't know, Ed. I don't get that. But I tell you, it gets so hot. I can only imagine. Like I said, I feel like I want to hyperventilate when we're in a restaurant, and it's kind of cool. If you can go to funerals that have been televised without social distancing and no mask, if you can go to funerals that have been televised without social distancing and no mask, you're asking a question. I'm not sure what that means, Shy Blues, but I think what you're saying is why, there's, you can't go to your own funeral and yet you can go to a funeral with 10,000 other people because it has to do with a political or a statement, something that's going on. And that whole thing was wrong. What happened to George Floyd was wrong. But people couldn't go to funerals for their own families. I mean, yet yet it's okay if you protest. So I said, I'm going to start having a Bible study protest at my house on Thursday nights, and, bring all your complaints, because we'll be yelling about them. We'll yell out the window at them about them. Um, let's see. We're already antisocial. These governors and mayors are making us really antisocial. I think things are getting worse. I think they're not improving because they're not trying to be a bridge to bridge us together. They're creating that gap. And I even saw that reporter I had shared out his thing saying people that masks are now our uniform, and people that aren't wearing masks are the enemy. Right? So there are people that are creating a dissension instead of an understanding. Like if somebody wants a mask, it's like, okay, I'll put my mask on for you for a minute, again, out of courtesy, because I want to be courteous. I want you to feel comfortable. And like I said, I was very, very concerned in the beginning. Like I said, I locked my whole family down. Like we had deliveries only. I didn't want anybody going anywhere. But we have to keep looking at the data. If you don't get less air with a mask, Rockford, that's not what doctors say. And I can tell you, I don't believe that from a personal opinion. When I'm out and I breathe in air, and when I'm in a mask that breathe in air, it does not feel the same, and I don't feel well. So you can say I'm not getting less air, maybe air if we're not considering it oxygen, but when you breathe CO2, or when we're breathing out, right, carbon dioxide, and we're breathing in oxygen, the carbon dioxide's still kind of stuck in the mask. Just like I explained it to my son the other day. It's a gross description, but you guys know what a crop duster is, right? And they're talking about sheets and how you are, or all those weird flatulence jokes under the sheets. It does get stuck there, right? The particles are large enough to get stuck there, at least momentarily. And so we are inhaling that again. I mean, that's that. I don't think anybody's actually debating that. Hey, Greg, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much. Adam says shower mask wearing, the new form of waterboarding. I know, right? That's what we'd waterboard ourselves. Some people need to be fish slapped. Greg, I could not agree with you more. Muhammad says it's not a question of respect or being a rebel. It's about caring for others' life. It's a new virus and nobody really knows what should be done. This is why, by precaution, we need to wear a mask even outside. If this can reduce the risk to spread the virus for only 20%, let's do it. Having said that, no need for violence. We just need to communicate more and better. Muhammad, I love that you're being super respectful about that. And like I said, that is certainly one school of thought. And I'm a proponent of keeping other people safe. I will wear them in stores when I need to. But remember, they've told us we only need 6 feet of social distancing. So if we're more than 6 feet away, or are they changing the rules? Like I said, they keep changing things. I've never understood how it could be 6 feet and not 6'1", or where that's coming in. But when you keep changing the goalpost, when things keep changing, the bar, the thing that we're trying to achieve keeps moving. First, it was just for us to slow down the spread so the hospitals could be prepared. But the bar keeps moving, and how are we supposed to, or let's say a target, we're going to hit the moving target. It's super hard to do that. So again, I respect that. And when anyone asks me, like I said, respectfully, would you wear your mask if I'm in their home or something? I can either choose to say, oh, of course, or you know what, I'm just going to excuse myself, not being mean, rude, or disrespectful, and go, oh, you crazy, because that's wrong. We should never judge other people's feelings about something. We don't know where they came from. We don't know why. It doesn't matter. We need to be kind and respectful. And if they want that, and you're not in a public place, you get to choose hopefully the high road, and either put it on for a minute or excuse yourself. That's what I do, and say, oh yeah, you know what, no problem, and say hello, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say, I'm just going to excuse myself outside, and I'm going to take the mask off outside. So, but again, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you I'm going to judge you if you don't do it. I'm saying there has to be two sides. This is not, this is not the Black Plague, right? It is not. It's not the bubonic plague. That's what, I think that's what they call bubonic and black, right? It's not that. This has shown to children have a very low probability of passing it on. I mean, the statistics, things keep changing. I'm sure you probably noticed that as well. Okay, let's go on to Denise, and then I am going to tell you about the mask on the Statue of Liberty. You are correct, Vicki. You are elevating your carbon dioxide. OSHA has thresholds. I have a family member who states that masks exceed thresholds. Mask wearing is not compliant with OSHA standards. See, there you go. So one federal agency is telling you we've been setting up these standards. I can tell you, Cal OSHA here in California, man, they got some serious fines and stuff when you don't comply. So now, are we in non-compliance? Can we be fined by Cal OSHA because we're following the CDC guidelines? I mean, honestly, these are slippery slopes, but they're absolutely factual. Adam says, wearing a mask in my house? Sure, come to my door and enforce that mandate. Adam, right? I'm coming to your house too. Like, I want to learn how to make sure I know how to defend myself, because it seems like there's some weird stuff going on. Euro says, I'm not familiar with any downside to masks with the exception of second and third degree burn victims. As Denise just said, the carbon dioxide does build up. People are getting mask face. They're getting infections in their mouth from breathing in and out. Some people, they're struggling financially, and to keep purchasing disposable masks or to try and adequately wash a mask. I mean, it's an interesting conundrum, but there are, like I said, I can actually pop some studies in, or if you guys have some studies, throw them in the chat right now so people can see both sides. Again, we're all being kind of respectful here. We're not judging other people. We only know what we know, right? It's that old adage, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So let's continue to research and figure things out. So we aren't judging other people based on what we believe to be true, because guess what? We could be wrong, right? And we don't want other people to be, like I said, and that's why I want to make sure I'm not telling you what to do. I'm being honest about what I would do. And if that makes you upset or you don't like me, I respect that. But hopefully you'll listen and hear that I'm not trying to make you believe what I believe. I just want us to think and ask some better questions, and to treat people who are very concerned about it with dignity and respect. It doesn't matter if that's how they feel. Try and respect that. Let's see. Joey says it's right. All about divide and conquer. I feel a little bit like that, 7 pounds. Funny how all the states run by Democrats are the worst in controlling us all. I mean, I agree with that too. I mean, if you look at what's going on, the control of the people and lack of control of the rioting is mostly with Democratic issues. And that, for those of you that are here, because we have, I think, about 7 countries represented from people I've seen in here, that, I don't know if you guys get all the news from the US. I think if you get it from CNN and stuff, you're really getting some tainted news, and you might not believe me or whatever. Totally understand. You don't have to, but I promise you there's some very interesting things going on with the media and what's represented and what's really happening. So if you know somebody in the States that you trust, that you think is, has and the ability to kind of cut through the bull and not exaggerate, talk to them about what's really happening here. And like I said, it's not so cut and dry as people think. Let's see. I don't wear a mask while exercising, walking, or running. If I wore a mask while exercising, I have no doubt I would pass out. I have no doubt. Euro says you're correct. It's less comfortable for a number of reasons, but it's not affecting oxygen. I don't think that's true. Adam, you would probably know that. Adam, does it or does it not affect your oxygen? I believe what Denise had shared earlier is that the OSHA has actually done tests, right, and measured the carbon dioxide that gets stuck in the mask and that you are inhaling it. I believe, Euro. I'm not positive. He says it doesn't affect oxygen or carbon dioxide levels. I think that's inaccurate, but I'm not positive. I agree with that statement from Mohammed. I can't remember which one that was, Shy Blue, but thank you. Yes, new data has come in. That's why what, Euro? Sorry, maybe because there's so many comments, I'm not sure. My son's girlfriend is an MD. She believes in wearing a mask. Gotcha. And again, I think some people do, but there's at least like 40 or 50 reports I've read in the last maybe 6 weeks that suggests that mask wearing is causing more problems than people understand. And it's causing more problems in the beginning. Now, I have a quick question. I want a 6 in the chat box if you know that Dr. Anthony Fauci is the one originally that told us that wearing masks was ridiculous. Like he did an interview. I don't remember. It wasn't, who was that interview with? Who would remember? Put a 6 again if you know that. Fauci said, you guys are really being silly. There's no reason for you to wear masks. It can only stop a little tiny droplet. It's not actually going to affect you. See, he flip-flopped all over the place on this. And so when we're starting with him, like I said, 6 in the chat box, if you know that, he's the one that said we were ridiculous for wearing them. Then he changed his position, and he seems to kind of sway with the wind. So I'm not a Fauci fan at this particular moment. Yeah, hospitals are laying people off. We know lots of people. And if you guys weren't here, because we are going to talk about this on the show too, but if you weren't here, there are the hospitals here in California. I can't say all of them, but I know of two that we have personal friends at, require you to be listed as COVID positive when you walk in the door before your results come back. You're listed as positive, and then the people are supposed to go back at the end of the day and change the reading and say that if you were negative or positive. But everybody that walks into the hospital is positive. And they said most of the time they don't get a chance to go back if it doesn't matter and the person's already been discharged. But those figures are being reported. So we are getting an over reporting of COVID positives. And here in California, Governor Newsom flew in COVID positive patients from Mexico, and they were getting double reported. There was a big article, I think, in the Sacramento Bee that showed that with people on the record that were nurses and doctors, and saying, yeah, they get reported at the border. And then they require us to report it again when they get here. We have to reevaluate, make sure that they are COVID positive, and that's our double reporting. So statistics are really kind of unreliable. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now when people are reporting, whoops, it wasn't 90% of us are positive. It was 9%. Whoops, just a zero. What's a zero among friends? Well, I would like that on my paycheck. Just add a little zero there. Let's see. I'm trying to go back and catch all these. There's a lot of comments and I so appreciate it. You guys, if you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button, because I would think hopefully you guys are finding some value here. You are correct. Okay, there you go. New data. Hospitals are laying people off. Nothing to do with the virus. It's all about the election. Keep you scared and away from the polls. Very possibly, Greg. That's the way it certainly looks. In New York, you have to wear a mask in stores. Otherwise, people will point at you and scream, put your mask on, and use the app to snap a picture. That right there, to me, is Gestapo nutty stuff. I'm just telling you right now, this is not the bubonic plague that a person walking out is going to literally kill people. That is Gestapo kind of nuts. And if you are narking your neighbors off, I mean, if somebody you know has COVID comes up and coughs in your face or spits on you and is deliberately trying to give you something, that's different. That's nuts. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that that's nuts. And if you're going to act like that, you are going to create a divide that's going to be really, really hard for people to come back from. Corrupt mail-in ballots you can trust, right? It's a choice to wear a mask or not, right, Joey? It is. But again, many of the government is not making it a choice. Euro, I listened to her. She said that the last place you want to be is in the hospital. I don't know what that means, Shy Blue. I'm not sure. You must be talking, maybe you're talking to someone else. Actually, children 10 and over are more likely to spread to household than adults. That's not the report I heard. I did hear children under 10 are not passing it even to teachers and stuff. They're more likely than the younger kids to pass it, but they are not passing it to adults from what I recall. People who shame people for not wearing a mask irritate me. Yeah, it's hurtful. I think it's mean and hurtful. Kim, it goes both ways to me. Shy Blue, I think that it can. But again, if we're not in your proximity, we have to, like I said, there needs to be some respect. If people are not wearing masks, we should respect their values. Like I said, there's a lot. I mean, you can get the exemption, I believe, that says that, there are people that have PTSD that can't wear a mask. They feel claustrophobic and they freak out. Are we really going to confine them to their homes the rest of their lives? I mean, that doesn't seem right either, especially when the data is not showing that people are dying from this. Not from not wearing a mask outdoors, or not wearing a mask in your home, or not wearing a mask, when you're not around people. We are living in America. There's a choice to wear a mask. Let people make their choice and stop mask shaming. I believe mask shaming is wrong. I think shaming in any way, shape, or form is wrong. Adam says, realize that most voting booths or poll places are churches or schools. The only way to change one's ability to vote is to create a pandemic that gets the general public to allow for closure of schools and churches that change one's ability to vote. This is the only reason that a mask agenda is being pushed when OSHA standards don't agree with the mandates to find viral politicians, mayors, and governors. I think that's a very astute observation. Whether you agree with it or not, I don't know, but it's a very astute observation. I mean, let's face it. Like I said, you can protest in large groups without masks, but you may not go into a church with a mask. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And like I said, if you've got some logic, I am a logical person and I have no problem changing my opinion. I was very worried about the virus in the beginning. I continue to inform myself. I want to be informed. Larry says, my rule is stay 6 foot 1 inch from me and life will be good. You just throw the mask in the laundry or hang it, wash to dry. Shy Blue, a lot of people don't have access to that. And some of the masks, like ones we have, are made out of cotton, and now the things are pulling. So they pull my ears so I look like I have alfalfa ears, and it hurts. And so I have to keep buying more masks, and, they break. And it's, for me, it's not, like I said, it's not like we can't get them. But like I said, I don't believe it's the best thing. I really don't. I don't believe it's the healthiest thing for my family, or I would insist. And trust me, I locked them down. Let's see. I'd love to see any evidence to the contrary. The contrary of what, Euro? I'll have people post articles here. You'd love to see evidence to the contrary of what? Because I know it probably makes sense to you, but there's probably 30 or 40 comments in between. We are live streaming on 7 platforms, you guys. So just because you can't see all the comments that are coming in from other platforms, I can see them all in here, but they're, like I said, you might not be able to see them. So that's, anyway, just so you know. Tell me what you want evidence of, Euro. 6 feet distance with voting November 3rd. Absolutely. And again, if we can do it in Sam's Club and Costco and Home Depot, we can certainly do it at a polling booth. I mean, we can extend polling, for days if we need to take more time, because it takes longer to get people in because they have to wait 6 feet apart and they have to trail around in circles. Then we can, right? And get more volunteers. I'll open up my home as a polling place if you'd like. Many issues in the hospital. Okay. New York City and New Jersey. I don't know what we're referring to there. Ciro, if masks work, then the CDC should stop wasting our tax dollars on N95 masks and get cloth masks. Good point, Kim. CNN is fake news. I agree with you. And that's because I've seen some of the ridiculousness that comes out of there. Like, I've watched things live, and then the way they twisted it made me, like, it was just sad. They get better news on us overseas. I don't know if they get the facts or not, though. Who's reporting the facts? Because they don't have anybody here. They can't get into the country. I mean, if they have reporters here, it's one thing. You can believe, and you can believe anything from the media. I think you meant can't, right? Euro says that those masks serve different purposes. Understood, Euro. Number one is you have to advocate for you, especially when you're on a ventilator. Yeah, scary. I agree, Shy Blues. Like I said, I'm not judging people for what they do or not do. I'm being honest about where I'm at. Is that if it was when it's logical, I'm in. When it starts to not make sense, I stay in and err on the side of caution. And now when it makes 0 sense whatsoever, I'm doing it as a respect for other people. That's what I'm doing. My friend almost passed out wearing cloth masks. She won't wear them anymore. Understood. Kim knows about, she put number 6. It affects oxygen. It does. Adam is a doctor. He says it does affect oxygen levels. I see multiple patients whose oxygen levels drop below 90% when wearing a mask, and multiple patients who've had elevated CO2 levels with prolonged mask wearing. So you have a doctor here right now who's telling you that his patients are experiencing the effects of those masks. So maybe we can take some live data from someone and not just a report. He's literally seeing a patient, testing their levels, and telling you it is happening. So hopefully you can give some validity to that. I do know Adam Nally personally. He lives in Arizona. For any of you guys who are there, I highly recommend as a doctor and a highly respected man. So, I certainly would take his word over a random reporter or somebody, personally. This is someone who's testing. Denise says she's aware of it. Euro says they can, Shy Blue says they can just leave you on a ventilator and never tend to you. You know what, Shy Blues, that I think is crazy and wrong. And I've seen some of these articles where they bring in COVID patients and they are just letting them go. And I hope that's not true, because I just can't even mentally process it. But that's why I also believe family members need to be able to see someone in the hospital. And I know that's not popular either, but the suicide rate is gone through the roof. Have you guys seen the suicide numbers are higher than the COVID deaths? This is, we have to be careful of how we're affecting the world. I mean, this is like it's not just in the US. People are really getting overwhelmed. Let's see. Greg says 6. Ciro said 6. Debbie said 6. Sorry, then it jumps through. All of a sudden, it jumps through. There's a ton of comments. There are plenty of videos showing that CO2 buildup. Gotcha. Great. Hi, Stacy. I'm opposed to the mask and only wear it if I have to. Fortunately, Tennessee is not like California. I hear you, Stacy. Joey says big establishment Fauci is now recommending goggles too. Like, come on. Is that true? I did see something. I thought it was a joke. If Fauci is recommending goggles now, are we not? So what we're saying is what the virus is now getting sucked into our eyeballs, like it's into the fluid of our eyeball. I mean, guys, come on. I'm not even going to go there. Fauci's advice was then was predicated on the PPE shortage of healthcare. Okay, so what you're saying, and then just correct me if I'm wrong. He lied. So you're saying that Dr. Fauci lied in order to protect the PPE so there would be enough for other people, and then flip-flopped when we found out there was enough? Because that right there I'm not going to lie to you. If somebody asks me something, I'm not going to lie because it's more convenient right now so you won't freak out. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. And if you're going to choose to freak out, at least you're going to trust me later and we can try and work through it. But can we trust a man that lies to us when it's convenient? Because I don't know. I can't. I don't know if you guys are choosing to. And if he came in and said, hey, you know what? I lied because I was worried about this, then maybe I could at least say, okay, I forgive you. You're fessing up and coughing up and we can work through that and I might be able to trust you again. But he's never said I lied, but he would have had to if that's the reason he did it. So for that one, I can't give him a pass when he's just flip-flopping. I know what's next, a fan on your head to blow away COVID. The numbers are inflated for sure. They get paid for saying positive, big money hospitals saying COVID. That's true too. My friend died last Sunday of COVID, so I'm okay with Shy Blues. I'm so sorry about that. I really am. Dr. Adam Nally says hypoxia, oxygen dropping below 90%, hypercarbia, which is your CO2 levels raising to levels that slow breathing, causing lightheadedness. See, this is what happens to me. I'm telling you, people, I get dizzy. Well, I measure it and see 2 to 3 patients per day in my office. I get dizzy. And that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pass out for someone else. Now, like I said, I'm happy to stay home most of the time, or if people are uncomfortable, to stay away from them. 65,000 were euthanized in nursing homes countrywide. You know what, Joey, that is the most disgusting thing of, this whole, not, I guess, the most disgusting, but bringing COVID positive patients back to the nursing homes. I can't believe Cuomo is still in office. I don't even get that. If you or anyone would like more COVID info, feel free to contact me. If you have some info that you think we don't have, drop the links or something there, because like I said, we have a plethora of information. It's just hard to process because there's so much on both sides. Denise says, breaking news, the California Department of Public Health director is now removed due to inaccurate data. You know what? Good. See, that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, now our data is incorrect. Which way is it incorrect? Now, did we all of a sudden have 110% positivity like we do with the voting? Like they sent out 110% of the actual population of I think it was LA County. They sent ballots to them. 110%. No, there's no fraud there. Debbie says the physical appearance of the mask helps drive home the fear of the pandemic. I agree. Lose the mask, lose the fear. I personally wear a mask at stores, but the fear mongering isn't lost on me. Gotcha, Debbie. Kim agrees with something. I'm not quite sure what, because I'm sure it was a while ago. I'm starting to see a lot of people in my area not wearing masks, and I'm okay with that. That's why I said it goes both ways. Don't shame either way. Shy Blues, totally agree. No shaming. Shaming is wrong. If you guys have read my book, Evict the Bully in Your Head, shame is one of the big 3 bullies, and it's absolutely, positively should never be done. Let's see, it's control, period, says Greg. Dr. Adam Nally says, as of this week, per the CDC, COVID death rate is 0.03%. Last year, influenza death rate was 0.14%. Pushing the mask agenda over COVID does not jive with influenza risk. So what Adam's saying is, if this is less people are dying from COVID than are from the flu, are we trying to suggest people should wear masks every day to stop the flu from being spread? Because like I said, there's some issues going on, guys. Freedoms are being lost, and we really need to be aware. I'm voting at a polling station on November 3rd. I voted in a polling space in June for primary. Open the poll stations and take the risk. Thanks, Joey. Kim says, our governor said if you can't social distance, then you should wear a mask. Exactly. I think that's okay. I can live with that. I think we have gigantic common sense problem. Larry, I could not agree more. But I think fear is driving it. And because we're afraid to ask good questions, because, I have a respectful audience, and I really appreciate that. And by the way, feel free to share this out, because we can agree to disagree. Some people here are not agreeing, and that's okay. We're not shaming or angry, and they're not shaming or angry back. We're talking And I think that's where people can sway their opinion, go, okay, well, he made a really good point, or she made a really good point. So we need to be open to what other people are saying, and not feel, because most people are afraid to have this conversation, because the cancel culture, all of a sudden, Vicky's a psycho and she's doing this, and don't talk to her anymore. People do stuff like that, and it's wrong. We should be able to have our own opinion without being canceled by other people, or treated, or being ridiculed and harassed, right? This is a conversation, and I think it's a really healthy one, and I'm really proud of all you guys. Let's see. Kim says, if they can protest large numbers, we should be able to go to church. And I am going to church. I'm just saying right now, like I haven't been able to go yet, but I am going back to church. Our church is open. I'm proud of my pastor. I'm going back to church, but I don't have to. We also have social distancing outside. You can also do it in your car. You can also watch it online. I miss my friends. I miss those people. I want to help people. My goal in life is to change the world, and it's really hard to change the world with as much impact I can do it from here in my home, but I want to go out and change the world. I want to touch. I want to hug people. I ask people, can I hug you? I do not hug them. I ask. And if they say yes, I hug them. Stay away from me if that scares you. But I will ask. And if they say yes, I will hug them, because that's what I need. That's what, I love that connection. I love that connection. All right. I see a bunch of things. I know. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me go through these. I would recommend people not use goggles to find information for mask studies, or Google to find information for mask studies. Too much censorship. You know what? That is 100% true. I have been censored unbelievably. Adam's been censored. And we're just, sometimes when we just share information of other people, articles that we've seen calling us fake news for exposing fake news. She's recommending use Brave or DuckDuckGo as your search engine. And I would agree, because you can find a lot of stuff that you can't. As a matter of fact, the Fauci thing where he flip-flopped, I can't find it on Google anymore. Go to DuckDuckGo. I haven't used Brave, but DuckDuckGo works well. I have written multiple articles providing all the studies and evidence. As a matter of fact, yeah, I think they're on docmuscles.com, right, Adam? If you go to docmuscles.com/blog, I know Adam's got a plethora of information there that he's written as a physician. Let's see. There's a bunch of articles here in the chat too, you guys. Again, we're having a really great conversation. I'm super excited that we can have this, right? My federal agent friend said she knows of people suing because they now have lung issues from, you know what? I don't blame them. I'd quit my job if I had to wear a mask every day. That's the truth. I absolutely 100% would not do it. I will respect the employer if that's what they're saying, but there is no possible way I would do that. Interesting though, doctors are in surgery all day in masks. So what's the big deal? Well, N95 masks, from what I understand, are a little bit different, but they're not in surgery all day, every day. They're in surgery, then they're out of surgery. They also have days off. It's where they're out in the fresh air and they can exercise and do things. It's not a 24/7 thing. I mean, next they're going to be telling us we have to hook up infiltration things to our nostrils. I mean, if we can't fight, our immune system is based on being able to fight some of the bacteria that comes in. We don't want to overexpose it, but we got to think about this, guys. Interesting. Let's see. 88% of people are dying on ventilators. Yeah, I've heard that ventilators are definitely not the way to go. I told my husband, if I get COVID, don't put me on a ventilator. Let me go, don't do it. And if I go home to be with Jesus, well then see y'all. We'll see y'all later. People need to get their wills updated, advanced directives. I agree. And my husband is doing a show. We're doing another event about Legal Shield to make sure people do get that done, because things can happen, right? And we want to be prepared. Problem is they're shutting down the doctors reporting the truth. I know, Larry, it's insane. 90% of the dying are from pre-existing conditions. I don't know if that's accurate or not, Joey. I know there are some, and I know there's many. I know that they had the guy the other day that he died in a car accident. He was decapitated in a motorcycle accident, I think, and they listed his death as COVID. I mean, maybe he had COVID, but let's face it, the decapitation is what took him. It wasn't the COVID. Because you're traveling out of state, I'm guessing you're not as concerned about the virus. Shy Blues, I'm not. We're actually looking at moving, and so we went to Las Vegas. And Adam, we're actually maybe coming to Surprise. I found a few houses in Surprise, Arizona that I liked, or we might be doing a lake area around here, but I'm not worried about it. So Do I protect myself? Do I make sure I use hand sanitizer? I've always washed my hands. I've always been worried, but no, I'm not worried about traveling. The goggles are next. I will not be wearing goggles. Wear the mask. Yeah, just a painter. I'm glad that you're here, but you're popping in with that whole side of not even listening to anybody else. Maybe we could, like I said, you could join the conversation. But I get where you're at, but we're not, again, some people are very pro and other people's aren't. And I don't know what that link is, but I don't even know what that means, but I won't be clicking on it. I don't know what it means. 90% of dying. Okay. Send the kids back to school. I agree with that one too. Don't trust Fauci. As I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I hear you. Fauci said that 2005, the HCQ was a wonder drug, vaccine and cure for SARS and COVID. Adam has a link there for probably an article. I'm not sure what it is. Fauci also owns 50% of a COVID vaccine patent. I know that kind of like it seems like there's a little, conflict of interest there. Just a painter says, then don't, Kim, just keep trusting Captain Cheetos and see what happens. Oh, so just a painter, again, we're happy to have you here, but it seems we talked about in the beginning, you might want to watch the replay, is that attacking people is not the best way to get them to see your views, and calling the president Captain Cheeto, I don't know, you're not going to make a lot of points. I mean, some people might think you're funny, but how about having an actual conversation and then and listening to what people have to say and actually delivering facts or value instead of trying to pick people apart, because that's just, it doesn't really support people well. Joey says he gets dizzy too. Such a bad combo when you have the elderly wearing masks. See, that's really bad. They can't breathe. I'm glad the health official was removed. There you go. So if a mask is okay, so all is well. Honestly, for me, Shy Blue says masks are so political now that people can't see straight. Stupid people. So Shy Blue, I thought you were for people wearing masks. So are you for it or against it? I'm not sure. I don't know what that means. Mortality rates worldwide are at 4%. Says just a painter. Okay, I'm not sure that's accurate either. But by the way, what are the flu numbers and cancer numbers? Adam, do you know what the flu numbers are? Try this. Cyril says in Google, type any 3 or 4 digit number followed by test positive and see what happens. Okay. I wonder how many people died from cancer or flu during this time. I don't know. I saw a guy compare the current CDC charts with H1N1. More died of H1N1 and CDC took the charts down. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. Come on, guys, something's going on here, right? Just a painter says less than 42,000 Americans died from the flu last year, 160,000 from COVID. I don't think that you're correct, but I don't know if it's the annual ones or certainly the current history. Adam has posted up some good links about that. Wally says America has the most COVID-19 cases and the most unwilling to fix their COVID problem. Wally, what country are you in? I can tell you that that's not really true. And that's why I'm not sure if you guys are actually getting all the data, because here in the US, lots of people are being removed for over-reporting data and having things. There's a financial incentive. I don't know what's going on in other countries, but there's a huge financial incentive here in the United States when you report a COVID positive death. And so it seems to be money motivated, the positives. And I'm being honest with you. Plus, we already talked about the fact that people are required to mark people as positive when they walk into a hospital until they're proven negative. So it's a whole really backward system that you would never accept anywhere else or for any other reason. It's just nuts what's going on. So if you guys get to hear some of that, maybe you might have a little bit different opinion. Let's see, shortly after his broadcast, not sure who's talking to who on that particular thing. You guys, honestly, I think we're having a really great conversation. I'm going to finish the comments that are here, tell you about the Statue of Liberty, and then I'm going to go on and then we'll close it out. Let's see. I don't know. Shy Blues is saying yes to Wally. How many people died of a suicide and it was put down as COVID? I don't know, Joey. Adam says, how long do you think it will take Facebook to fact check this live and put you in Facebook jail? They will I probably won't make it to the end of the broadcast. I seem to end up in Facebook jail a lot lately because, my opinions are now no longer facts because I think they have a connection to my brain. How many people died in car accidents? We put down as COVID. Good question. They love to use the regular flu. I don't know what that means, Shy Blues. Stacy says Brave is great and you can earn cryptocurrency with it. I've already earned close to $40. That's great, Stacy. Decorus R says, I guess it depends upon what you look like. I don't know what that means, Decorus, and which comment you're referring to. Yes, guys, we are on 7 different platforms. So if you're not seeing the comments, that's why. If you could hit the share button, though, we're super excited to hear whoever wants to, engage in the conversation. And every day at 11:30, I am delivering value on topics that are difficult to talk about. Let's see. Well, some of us can't quit our jobs, though. Shy Blues, I didn't say anybody should. I said if I was required to wear a mask all day, I would quit my job because I would be afraid for my health, much more so than I would be that I was going to catch COVID. So that's just me, not suggesting or encouraging anyone else to do it. I'm just being honest about what I would do. I would not wear a mask all day. But we do have a show on Thursdays at 11:30, the Do You Neo show. Do you need extra opportunities, where we tell you how to make money from home? I have different guests on the show that tell you, this one on Thursday, we're going to talk about how you can make money just from electronics and stuff that are already in your home. They take the mask off, discard between surgery, not reusing. Denise says they're getting rid of the mask. They don't reuse them, which is what a lot of people are doing. Doctors in surgery don't wear masks for 10 hours straight. Adam says, Dr. Adam Nally. I think bags are the next thing. I'm not sure what that means, Decorus. Let's see. Yeah, there's lots of different flus, just a painter. There's swine flu, there's Spanish flu, there's lots of different flus. Kim says, my sister-in-law took a picture of the note at her doctor's office saying you don't have to wear a mask. That's awesome. Facebook called it fake news. Yeah, of course. Doctors wear the mask only while in the operating room suite. There you go. Therapeutics work. I agree, Debbie. I've been really working on boosting my immune system. I'm just saying that non-mask wearers like to talk about how many die of the flu. I think because it's factual information that we're using as a basis, Shy Blues. I don't think we're trying to use it as an excuse. Like for me, I'm not using anything as an excuse. If I thought my family was in jeopardy or I was in jeopardy, I would absolutely put a mask on. I don't believe that's accurate, and that's why I constantly gathering information. If my opinion changes, then my actions will change. But data is important, and accurate data and logic. We got to use logic. Let's see. If you don't like the mask, you're going to love the ventilator. Just a painter, like I said, I can see you're very passionate about your position, and I respect that. Kim says she's not worried about the virus. She's building her immune system and eating healthy. Wally wants to know if Americans feel embarrassed that you're fighting over COVID-19 but not fixing the problem. Wally, I don't know if what country are you in, and maybe you answered it later. We're definitely working on the problem, and I think that we're doing actually a great job. We are testing more than anyone else in the world. I mean, my son's been tested 3 times already, so that when you count all that those tests, but they're not telling you how many negatives are coming up. They're only telling you the positives, and like I just told you, everybody's reported as positive when they go into a hospital until they're proven negative. So that kind of makes things a little bit different. We are working on the problem. Like I said, I think you guys get these news outlets trying to make us look like we're a bunch of morons, which I don't think we are. I mean, I think we have some politicians acting like morons, but that's just my opinion. Adam says, was the motorcycle accident decapitation due to the accident or decapitation with the giant nasal swab to screen for COVID? My poor son, because he was in the hospital several times, and that swab, he said, just makes you sick. He says you feel like vomiting because they stick that swab back so far. And it's like, well, if it has to go back so far, how can to test, how can a mask then the stuff's not coming out? Wouldn't it just be at the edge of your nose if you have to go back so far? I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird too. Plenty of articles and sources I read, 90% died of pre-existing. Gotcha. I don't know what long duck. I don't know what that is, but please don't do what? I don't know what that means. I just ignore just a painter. You are reading things I put in 5 minutes. Well, yes, I understand, just a painter. Like I said, I have hundreds and hundreds of comments here, and I'm trying to go through them all, so no problem. Shy Blue says she is embarrassed. So, like I said, everybody has their own stuff going in there. Cheeto comments from those who proclaim they need to respect people of color. I don't know what that means, Greg. I know what the Cheeto comment was. Joey says 0.03% death rate. Shy Blue said, I'm for people wearing a mask, but for one to wear it or not for political reasons is ridiculous. Gotcha, Shy Blues. Derek says, got to wear a mask. Mask is scientifically verified at reducing the spread. And Derek popped a link in there. Derek, there's some other articles in here from doctors and stuff that have suggested that that's incorrect, that there's data the other way, and which is why we're having this conversation. Greg says hospitals get 14,000 for regular COVID diagnosis and 39,000 if a ventilator is needed on COVID. And so that's a huge, like, when you put money in the mix, all of a sudden people start making different decisions. And I think that's super sad. I wish that everybody had a different type of integrity, but since they don't, we have to, like I said, we have to follow the money and we have to look at the logic. I'm in Canada, Wally says, and we have about 120,000 cases and 9,000 deaths. Got you, Wally. Joey's talking about sarcasm. I don't know which part. Vicky, leaving California, awesome for you if you do. Shy Blues, I might. I'm not sure. We've been looking at a couple different places, so it's possible. Let's see. Shy Blues is asking you, Adam says, Dr. Adam, some surgeries are long, right? And you can certainly answer that. Yes, I'm sure they are. 66 million have been tested, Joey says, here in the US. Well, at the hospitals near me, the doctors and nurses wear a mask all day now. Yeah, and I'm sure they're required to be in there. Joey says I'm funny, I think. Derek says, sorry to disagree, the logic. I need more data, and if it's dangerous to my family, I'll definitely wear a mask. May not give you enough time to stay unaffected. I would be so extremely sad if you or your family get sick. Derek, I would be too. And like I said, we hopefully, if you get to see the beginning, we talked a lot about that. And like I said, when we look at things logically and we identify if the masks were so effective, and again, I'm not telling people not to wear masks, we're talking about it and how we shouldn't be shaming people either way. You can certainly keep your family away from them, but we shouldn't be shaming people. It's a wrong thing to do. But I don't believe that the masks are creating what they want. And especially when people are outdoors, wearing masks outdoors, wearing masks in your homes is now required in some states or cities. Wearing masks in your car while you're driving, I think those are all insane, absolutely insane. Wearing your mask when you're around people and you can't social distance, I have no problem with that. But there's, like I said, it's become and now it's become it is a political agenda for sure, that is, kind of expanded upon. But we have to use logic. If our politicians allow people to go out without masks when they're protesting and yell and scream at people, but yet you can't sing in church, just look at that right there and say, that doesn't make sense. And then we have to dig a little deeper, because if things don't make sense, then there's a different motive. There's an ulterior motive somewhere, or someone's just, wrong. I don't know which it is. Larry says, take an aspirin, drink a gallon of water, and call someone in the morning. Okay, Larry. Shy Blue says, California is a good place to leave. I'm SoCal, born and raised, but it's gone bonkers. Shy Blues, I'm with you, sister. I'm with you. I don't know what that means, long duck, but okie doke. Derek says, I've seen many of those other studies. Many are politically motivated or factually false. Both sides will always have some poor data, but the science is strong for mask use. Derek, in this chat right here, Dr. Adam Nally, I think I told you a little bit about Adam before. He actually has some articles on it. He's actually testing people that come into his office who are getting, I don't know if the word toxic is correct, but they are having their CO2 levels are raising. It's causing problems, and they have oxygen deficiencies because of wearing the mask. So although I recognize your data, there's someone here in the chat that literally is testing people every single day and seeing the problems that they are causing. Now, that doesn't mean nobody should wear a mask ever. It means we gotta look at all the data. When you have someone that's doing it day to day, and someone I trust very much, you have to recognize that there's more information out there, and that information is factual. So you can choose to believe it or not. I don't know about all the studies, right? Let's see. In my humble opinion, if masks work, we should be able to open up all businesses. Amen to that, Kim. I agree with that. Diane says, I am immune compromised, so my entire family wears a mask to help protect us, but we only wear them when social distance is not available. Diane, we're the same way. Such a nice girl. Thank you, Long Duck. I am a nice girl. Derek says, agreed. It's definitely become super political. No reason to sit in your car alone with a mask on. As far as protests, they should wear masks. Same in churches. So like I said, no shaming people. We're having a conversation, and then we can start to see sometimes where we might misjudge something somebody's saying. When you have conversations, then everyone benefits from conversations. Shy Blue says all businesses should be open and let folks choose if they want to go. I agree, Shy Blues. I think we need to open businesses. People are, I mean, I know friends that are losing their entire life savings and everything they have because their businesses can't open. And it's breaking my heart. It's absolutely breaking my heart. Charmaine, hey, Charmaine says we need to use common sense. Absolutely. Common sense is not so common anymore. And if we can fix that, like if we can come together and like say, have conversations like these and say, let's use some logic and some common sense, then I think things will get better. Shy Blues, Kim says she agrees. Shy Blues, let's common sense bring back. That should be my new hashtag. Bring common sense back. Bottom line, no one knows if masks work. Just use your common sense in social situations. Thanks, Wally. Diane says, I am having oxygen deficits when I wear, and my doctor told me to keep it below my nose unless people are near. Also, we left California and very happy to be in Arizona. Diane, if you're near Surprise, Adam Nally is a great doctor. We're actually looking in Arizona as well. We may be moving to Arizona, but I think we're probably going to be moving to a lake area here, but I saw some beautiful homes there we liked. Open. I sit in my car when I don't have enough sanitizing supplies, so I don't want to touch my mask. Oh, I hear you, Shy Blues. Derek says, yes, the shaming and ridicule is getting nowhere, adds to the difficulty. Completely agree, Derek. I hear people all the time say they are so depressed. Yes, I've heard the same thing. Open businesses to move the economy. And Shy Blue says, that's why I have a mask on in the car. You do have your mask on? I think that's unhealthy, Shy Blues, especially with the heat and stuff. I don't know, my friend, but be careful. In Tucson, but looking around. Okay, well, I can tell you personally, I saw some absolutely stunning homes in Surprise, Arizona. It was a surprise. No. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you this last thing, then we're going to go because we've been on, I was going to do an hour, been on a little over an hour. The Statue of Liberty there, and I wanted to show you a picture, but I told you my phone died. Still will not charge. My darn phone will not charge at all. So I got to go get a new one. So the Statue of Liberty, and I think it says, I can't remember if it says Save Vegas or Vegas Strong, but they actually have the Statue of Liberty wearing a mask. They're creating a very mask intensive place in Las Vegas for sure. Like I said, there you could feel the tension of the non-mask wearers versus the mask wearers in certain areas. So I will leave it at that. Hey, Fraser, welcome to the broadcast. You would love to live in Arizona. Well, Kim, I can tell you, if you're looking, great values there, beautiful homes, gorgeous pools. I told Terry if I'm moving, I have to find my happy place. And that's what I'm looking for is my happy place. Stacy said, here in Tennessee is so stupid. At our gym, we have to wear the mask to enter the building and to walk down the hall to the gym, and then we can take it off. Yeah, now it's like, okie doke. All righty then, because we won't affect anyone. It's that 8 feet between the door and the whatever, right? I still don't know what that means, Long Duck, but thank you so much for being here. If you guys are not following me, please hit the follow button. I will be on every day, every weekday at 11:30 a.m. We moved the time to the daytime because it seemed to work for people. The one on Thursdays, the Do You Neo show. The rest of the days, we're going to be talking about these issues that are really hot topics right now, where the cancel culture is taking the conservative viewpoint and ripping it to shreds. And we're having conversations. And I hope you guys are finding value. Put an 8 in the chat box if you found some value today for me. Like I said, we had a lot of content and comments. If you missed the beginning, check it out. It's like I said, it's been a great conversation. If you have topics you want to talk about, send me a private message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you like. I prefer Facebook. it's where I get although I may not be able to respond because I'm probably going to get fact checked, censored or off here. If you guys are on Parler, which is a Twitter substitute, you can go check me out on Parler. We're going to start posting over there, but at least you can send me some messages. They won't get I don't know, disseminated. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much. The virus is so smart. You don't have to wear it when eating out. I know, right? Kenda, thank you. Debbie, thank you. Cyril, thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. I'll try and get some topics in advance and post them up so you know what they're going to be, but I hope you'll join me. And until next time, I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao. See you guys later. Have a great one.